vedremo adesso tutte le innovazioni delle macchine di Quanta System. Quindi questa mattina abbiamo visto la teoria, i parametri, gli effetti. Adesso vediamo che cosa si può innovare, le cose nuove come tecnologia. Quindi in tutti i casi la teoria di partenza è sempre la fototermolisi selettiva. I parametri sono 3: lunghezza d'onda, durata d'impulso e fluenza. Nella fluenza non c'è molto da fare. L'unica innovazione è ricordarsi spot size largo, penetrazione profonda, spot size piccolo, effetto superficiale, perché c'è lo scattering. Quindi l'unica cosa importante della fluenza è ricordare questo aspetto. È molto importante nel vascolare, ok? In tutte le applicazioni, epilazione, tatuaggi, pigmentazioni, in generale vogliamo andare in profondità, quindi largo è migliore. Nel vascolare dipende. Teleagectasia, nelle gambe, largo profondo è migliore, ma quando usiamo il laser per il volto, nella faccia, al contrario, uno spot piccolo superficiale è più sicuro, evitiamo cicatrici e problemi. Quindi lo scattering può essere un problema o un vantaggio, dipende da che cosa sto facendo. Punto 2. La lunghezza di impulso. Anche qua non c'è un vantaggio innovativo. Con la lunghezza di impulso devo stare più corto del tempo di rilassamento termico oppure più corto del tempo di transizione acustica. In inglese. So, with pulse width, there is not a real innovation. I just needed to stay shorter than thermal relaxation time in case of thermal effect or wave transition time in case of acoustic effect. Just that. No innovation. Probably the only partial innovation is the cumulative effect in the hair removal, but we remember from this morning is not effective. Torno in italiano. L'unica innovazione nel tempo di durata di impulso può essere l'effetto cumulato, ma è poco effettivo, poco efficace, quindi niente. La vera innovazione, l'MT technology, è nella lunghezza d'onda. Noi sappiamo che per ogni lunghezza d'onda abbiamo vantaggi e problemi. Quindi l'idea è di usare 2 lunghezze d'onda insieme per avere più vantaggi e meno problemi. In English, the idea is wavelength is the real innovation, the field for innovation. So, with any wavelength we have pro and cons. The idea is that if we can use 2 wavelengths together, sequential or simultaneous, it's another story, but together we can maximize the benefit and we can reduce the side effects. Quindi la risposta è Mixed Technology. E in Quanta System abbiamo Mixed Technology in U-Laser, ma in tante altre macchine. Per esempio, Thunder MT, macchina per epilazione e vascolare. Quindi nel Thunder MT abbiamo alessandrite 755 nanometri e abbiamo neodimio YAG 1064 nanometri. Possiamo usarli da soli oppure possiamo usarli in Mixed Technology. In particolare simultaneo, stesso tempo, mismo tempo, è utile per epilazione. Perché simultaneo? Epilazione è un trattamento termico, devo rispettare impulso più corto del tempo di rilassamento termico. Quindi se uso 2 lunghezze d'onda devo comunque stare più corto del tempo di rilassamento termico. In inglese. So the idea is we have 2 wavelengths and we are using together. But regarding the hair removal, we need simultaneous emission because we need to respect in any case the thermal relaxation time condition. So it doesn't matter if you're using only one wavelength or two wavelengths. The selective photothermolysis is the same, and we need a pulse shorter than the thermal relaxation time. That's why in mixed technology we need simultaneous emission, single pulse shorter than thermal relaxation time. Why? Perché ci serve? Il nostro obiettivo è il bulbo pilifero, il follicolo pilifero, ed è composto da diversi elementi. Non è un singolo unico elemento. Abbiamo bulge, dove ci sono le cellule staminali, abbiamo la matrice e abbiamo la papilla. Sono tre i principali elementi che dobbiamo necrotizzare nel bulbo pilifero. La alessandrite, Alex 755 nanometri, è il migliore, perché con il laser non è facile arrivare in tutti e tre gli elementi. Quindi non ci serve un laser che arrivi direttamente in profondità. Alessandrite non lavora così. Alessandrite usa il cromoforo melanina che è nel bulbo pilifero, nello stelo pilifero, e da questo assorbimento trasmettiamo calore nei tre elementi del bulbo pilifero. Quindi alessandrite da sola è la migliore lunghezza d'onda perché possiamo arrivare con l'assorbimento in melanina nei tre punti principali. Possiamo indurre la necrosi nel bulbo pilifero con minor dolore. Se usiamo un laser che arriva dappertutto è molto doloroso. Per esempio il neodimio YAG 1064, molto doloroso. Ora, il problema dell'alessandrite è uno solo: i melanosomi in superficie. Quindi in un fototipo 1 e 2 no problema, ma in un fototipo 4 o 5 i melanosomi in superficie ricevono il nostro laser. Io posso fare epilazione, sì, ma tolgo anche la pelle, brucio anche la pelle, non è buono. Quindi l'alternativa singola lunghezza d'onda è solo il 1064, ma come abbiamo detto arriva dappertutto ed è molto doloroso. In più non è efficace perché il 1064 lavora su tre cromofori diversi. Abbiamo melanina come l'alessandrite, 30%, un terzo. 2. Abbiamo acqua che è dappertutto nel tessuto ed è molto dolorosa perché è scaldo, caliente in tutta la pelle. 3. Abbiamo il sangue nella papilla. Quindi tanta dispersione e poco effetto all'interno del bulbo. Quindi 1064 da solo non è buono, poca efficacia, tanto dolore. L'alternativa è Mixed Technology. Abbiamo il massimo di alessandrite che possiamo tollerare nei melanosomi, nell'epidermide, e complementare 1064 per tutto il resto. In un fototipo 3 avremo tanta alessandrite e poco 1064. In un fototipo 5 avremo poca alessandrite e molto 1064. Compensiamo, dobbiamo fare un tuning. Quindi simultaneo Alex YAG. Alessandrite la migliore ma pericolosa, poca. 1064 possiamo usarne anche tanto. Per l'operatore è un singolo impulso, non c'è extra tempo, non serve attenzione, il laser fa tutto da solo. Altri vantaggi del Thunder MT è lo spot quadrato. Lo spot quadrato è utile per ridurre overlapping. Quando devo muovermi su una superficie, con i quadrati posso essere molto uniforme, quindi basso rischio di iperpigmentazione, e sono molto rapido perché ho meno overlapping. Lo vediamo in questa animazione. Overlapping è meno del 10%, stesso numero, mismo numero di colpi, posso avere una maggiore superficie. Il quadrato è molto vantaggioso. Arriviamo al 30% più rapido in generale, 30% meno tempo per il total body. Con il Thunder Total Body possiamo tranquillamente impiegare 35 minuti, molto veloce. In più abbiamo lo scanner, quindi possiamo essere molto precisi senza stress, lo scanner lavora da solo e possiamo creare anche l'effetto cumulativo, come Moveo per esempio. In questo caso abbiamo Mix Technology, possiamo avere anche il cumulativo fatto dallo scanner in automatico. E per ridurre lo stress cutaneo possiamo decidere di avere Fill Mode, dei modi di muoverci sulla pelle rapidi oppure molto sicuri, molto efficienti. Per esempio, questo è rapido, spirale. Vediamo con una termocamera la diffusione è uniforme. Con la termocamera vediamo il calore ed è uniforme senza stress. Metto lo scanner, schiaccio il finger switch e fa tutto da solo. Se il trattamento è molto forte, molto caliente, posso usare random per migliore distribuzione del calore. Vediamo con la termocamera un po' più lento ma migliore calore. In tutti i casi è uniforme, questo è un punto importante. Quindi la schiena del maschio, molto difficile perché l'epidermide è molto thick, molto spessa, 10 volte più spessa che sulla faccia, non c'è problema. Posso usare la singola emissione in un fototipo 2 solo alessandrite, in un fototipo 4 Mix Technology, con lo scanner e in 3-4 sessioni ho una rimozione totale. Lo stesso esempio, molto utile la MT Technology sul volto femminile, dove ho nello mismo tempo peli bianchi, biondi e piccoli e peli neri, nigri e grandi, larghi. In Mix Technology abbiamo alessandrite più orientata verso la melanina e nello stesso tempo 1064 più orientato per tutti gli altri peli. Quindi funziona molto bene anche nelle situazioni miste. Un altro uso del Thunder MT è la modalità sequenziale. Alessandrite, pausa, neodimio YAG. In questo caso è vascolare, perché il neodimio YAG è ottimo per vascolare, ma serve molta affluenza, è molto pericoloso. Per esempio, per lavorare sul volto, sulla faccia con il 1064 servono 150 joule su centimetro quadro, tanto, una bomba atomica. Quindi l'idea è di aiutare il 1064 a lavorare meglio, to help the 1064 to work properly. Quindi il primo impulso di alessandrite non è vascolare, serve a preriscaldare l'emoglobina e trasformarla in metaemoglobina, un'altra forma chimica del sangue. La metaemoglobina è nigra e il 1064 lavora 3 volte meglio con quel metaemoglobina. Quindi il primo impulso di alessandrite trasforma emoglobina in metaemoglobina e ora il 1064 è 3 volte più efficace con la metaemoglobina che con l'originale emoglobina. Qui lo vediamo in un video. Sequenza Alex, pausa and YAG. Alex trasforma metaemoglobina secondo impulso YAG è più efficace. Bisogna stare attenti nei fototipi 5 perché il basso danno del 1064 o il danno dell'alessandrite. In English. So we need to pay attention when we are applying this technique in skin type 5 because in one side I'm reducing the risk from 1064 but in the other side I have the risk from alexandrite. So we need to pay attention. That's why it's a technique optional. It is for free in the system, but we need to decide yes or no. Per esempio, in questo caso è una telangiectasia nella gamba, solo 1064, 140 joule su centimetro quadro, regular, classica. In questo caso è stata fatta sul volto con la Mix Technology, 20 joule di alessandrite e solo 80 di neodimio YAG, quindi si riesce a ridurre di molto l'effetto, meno rischio, meno dolore. In caso di telangiectasia angiomatica diffusa, di nuovo la Mix Technology permette di ridurre molto il 1064. Quindi sul volto è meglio un KTP 532 o un 585, ma in questo caso funziona bene ed è una macchina fatta per epilazione. Il Thunder MT è una macchina grossa, potente per epilazione che posso usare molto bene anche per il vascolare. Se però voglio una macchina specifica per il vascolare, un'altra innovazione è il 585. Il 585 non è innovativo come lunghezza d'onda. L'innovazione è la tecnologia in questo caso, il fatto che non è un pulse dye laser, non è una tecnologia con rodamina. Prima di tutto perché 585? Ne parlavamo questa mattina perché è nel punto di miglior compromesso tra penetrazione ed efficacia. In particolare lo vediamo nella tabella dopo. In particolare qua vediamo che 585 rispetto al 577 ha il 40% di profondità in più e rispetto agli assorbimenti con melanina, oxiemoglobina ed emoglobina non c'è tanta differenza. Quindi abbiamo poco meno assorbimento, molto più penetrazione, è vantaggioso. Il punto importante è che 585 o amarillo, giallo, yellow, ok, ma in tutti i casi il problema è la tecnologia. In passato l'unica tecnologia era la dye, pulsed dye laser, con due problemi, uno applicativo, medico, e uno tecnologico. Quello applicativo medico è la porpora, brutta da vedere per il paziente e rischiosa per le iperpigmentazioni. Questo perché i PDL hanno tanta potenza e impulsi molto corti, ripetuti molto corti. L'altro problema tecnologico, quindi consumabili, la rodamina è costosa, un sacco di soldi e devo cambiarla ogni anno, anche se non uso l'equipo, il dispositivo. In più è tossica, devo stare anche attento, è molto complesso. Il vantaggio del 585 è che ha poca potenza ma tempi molto lunghi, quindi no porpora, e è a stato solido, no rodamina, no consumabili. Questi sono i vantaggi. Abbiamo lo scanner per essere uniformi ed evitare i problemi di uno spot piccolo. Lo scanner è automatico, fa tutto da solo. E quindi possiamo trattare per esempio angiomi, in questo caso con un solo trattamento è molto semplice da rimuovere senza lasciare traccia. Possiamo trattare angiomi in zone molto sensibili. Il naso è una pelle sensibile, è seborroica, quindi dobbiamo stare attenti. Con i pazienti giovani fa anche molto male, è doloroso. 5 watt, la potenza non è alta, bassa potenza, tempo molto lungo. Siamo in fototermolisi estesa, Extended Photothermolysis, longer than TRT, quindi 30 millisecondi. Densità 0.8, densità molto denso, e 2 passaggi, 3 sessioni, questa è la riduzione. Capillari cuprose, la riduzione in 2 sessioni, 5 watt 25 millisecondi. Se vediamo con Visia ci sono ancora dei capillari, quindi una sessione extra è consigliata per stabilizzare sempre. Anche in questo caso conviene fare una sessione extra. Capillari multipli. In molti casi, come questo, vediamo una riduzione visibile ottima, ma all'interno c'è ancora della vascolarizzazione, quindi una sessione extra è sempre importante. Funziona anche sulla pigmentazione. 585 ha cromoforo anche melanina, quindi nei casi di discromia o nei casi di pigmentazione come il melasma è una buona soluzione. Si vede, il melasma si riduce notevolmente. Un'altra innovazione MT è nel nanosecondo fotoacustico chiuswitchato. È una macchina nuova con 3 lunghezze d'onda nanosecondo, Ruby, 1064 e 532 MT. Possiamo quindi avere Ruby e 1064 insieme, Ruby e 532 insieme. Per esempio, nella rimozione tatuaggi conoscete la tecnica R20, R20. So, repetition, di R, the R letter, 20 minuti. Serve prima trattamento tatuaggio o il frosting, aspetto 20 minuti, il frosting disappear, non c'è più, svanisce, e dopo 20 minuti uso un'altra lunghezza d'onda. Una evoluzione in questa R20 è R0, con la perfluorodecalina, PFD, è un farmaco oftalmologico, posso evitare il frosting, quindi tratto il tatuaggio e subito dopo ritratto di nuovo il tatuaggio, 2 passaggi insieme. La perfluorodecalina è in patches, in applicativi 10x10 cm, è molto costosa, $50 per single use patch, quindi non è buona, troppo costosa per il mercato. Con il Q Plus MT ho la R20, quindi no ritardo, semplicemente perché le 2 lunghezze d'onda lavorano insieme. È chiaro? O in English, I can try in English as well. So the idea is, if you have experience with the tattoo removal, you know that sometimes it's not useful to use a single wavelength. So a very well-known technique is the R20. So repetition R after 20 minutes. Because the 20 minutes is the regular time for the frosting disappearance. Now, a little evolution was, in the past, the PFD patches from Merz Aesthetic, the owner of this patent. So this PFD was invented for ophthalmology, but you can use on the skin to avoid any frosting because the gas solubility, a long story. So with this patch you can avoid any frosting and you can repeat the treatment after 0 minutes, R0, that's why. But it is very expensive. A single-use 10 by 10 patch like this is $50, more than the tattoo removal session. You need double price. So you can do the real R20 technique using the MT technology, because in the same time we have two emissions and we can arrive to the chromophore before the frosting creation, because they are synchronized. This is a good evolution. So you can be effective with less sessions and no extra cost, no extra time, no PFD, no 20 minutes, in strange colors. For example, dark blue. Dark blue is not so good with 1064, not so good with ruby. You can use together, so you can maximize the chromophore absorption. You can see you can easily remove tattoo almost everywhere with less effort. These are just examples. Another improvement, another innovation with the Q Plus MT is pigmented lesions. For example, you know from this morning that 532 is the best wavelength for pigmentation, but can be risky in dark skin types. So with epidermal pigmentations like solar lentigo, you can use together. The maximum 532 you can tolerate in the skin type you are treating, and ruby as a complementary wavelength. So you have more efficacy from 532 and less purpura because the ruby contribution. Very easy. The same regarding dermal pigmentation. Otta nivus, for example, 1064 is good because can arrive very deep, but is not efficient. So you can mix ruby and 1064 to have efficiency from ruby and deep penetration from 1064. Another improvement that is good in these cases. Sometimes Otta nivus are very dark, very tough to be removed. Of course, Pico is even better. So the Q Plus MT is a nanosecond technology with the innovation of two wavelengths together. But come on, Pico is even better, is the Rolls-Royce of lasers. So with Pico you can have a better fragmentation, and in the skin your macrophages are happier to remove the tattoo because they have an easy job. The fragmentation is smaller. At the end, with Pico, you can easily remove a tattoo like this. With a nanosecond emission, not so easy. You need 20 sessions to remove especially yellow color. With Pico, single session. This is the amazing improvement after one single session. This is an easy location, of course. The axilla is very close, but anyway, one session, strong improvement. Pigmentation as well. Melasma and cloasma. Pico is better, no way. Of course, the melasma we have in Europe is easier than the melasma you have here in Peru. The sun is the main problem regarding melasma. But anyway, Pico is the correct device in any case. Yeah. Now, there is another innovation in MT technology. So we were able to analyze mixed technology in thermal processes like hair removal and vascular. MT technology in photoacoustic effect like tattoo removal and pigmented lesion. Now there is an innovation with ablative devices. We can apply this advantage in gynecological application, but also in skin resurfacing, etc. First of all, gynecological indications. So She-Lace is the solution for vagina atrophy. The idea is this is correct, the correct shape and the thickness of the vagina mucosa. This is atrophy. So thin epithelium and flat surface, not good. So the idea is we need ablation and coagulation in the same time. But in this case, we need mainly 99% coagulation. So it's not a good idea to use systems that are mainly ablative. In the market you can find even erbium YAG for vagina. It's a stupid idea, because you have a laser that is 100% ablative for an application that is 99% coagulation. Come on, it's like to buy a Ferrari to go in a farm for agriculture. Not a good idea. So CO2 is better, but not enough alone. So in our Chilase we have erbium glass 1540 that is for coagulation, mainly for coagulation, and just a little bit of CO2 for the other ablative part in the epithelium. The system is automatical, there is an output 360 degree without any movement, so very easy. If you want, after we can simulate something, we have the real device. And in this video we can understand how to proceed. This is an idea of atrophy, vagina atrophy, so flat mucosa and very thin. We have a speculum that you can put inside the body for stretching. Okay, we need to reach any part with laser. And after that, inside the speculum, we can put the probe, the laser probe. After that, just pressing the finger switch, the laser will arrive everywhere without movement. We only need to retract, just that. 5 minutes and we can do 2 passes. There is a touch screen on the scanner that can guide us to do this operation. So in case you need to stop the treatment, you can come back and see the display indication. Super easy. And inside you will have emission everywhere, because the geometry, the architecture of this pyramid. Mixed technology, remember, so the first pulse is 1540 and the second pulse is CO2. CO2 just a little bit, even less than 5% the global emission, because we need ablation only in the epithelium, not inside the mucosa. For mucosa we have the erbium glass, the 1540. Two minutes and a half single pass, 5 minutes double pass. Very easy. And there is no pain for the patient. This is another important fact. You don't need sedation, because inside the vagina there are no heat nervous termination. There is no perception of heat. We have some study, of course, but in particular we have a test regarding the satisfaction. So almost any parameter after 3 sessions can become double. This form is like TripAdvisor, a scale from 1 to 5. 1 is very poor, 5 is excellent. So in the initial part of the treatment, all the parameters are very poor, 1, 2, 2.5. After 3 sessions, the parameters now are 5, 4, almost double. Regarding the stress urinary incontinence, as well, good results. So from light and moderate incontinence, after 3 sessions, we can obtain no problem or just a light problem. The only limitation is severe incontinence, 5% of the population. In that case, no. Laser is not useful. You need surgery, of course, because there are muscles that are involved. The other use of this mixed technology is the U-Laser MT. Same device, but instead of gynecological handpieces, the Chilase, you have other handpieces, scanner and surgical free handpieces. The device is the same. This is an evolution because it is not a CO2. It is a CO2 plus erbium glass together. CO2 ablative, erbium glass coagulative. It means collagen, tightening, new skin inside the dermis. They are working like in the vagina, combination 1540 and CO2, and CO2 just in the surface, where we need, where we strictly need. In particular, in the comparison from CO2 only and CO2 and 1540, you can see that the amount of the potential collagen, that means the hyperthermia, is large in mixed technology, larger and larger than only CO2. So first of all, the mixed technology is offering more tightening, more collagen. And in the same time, because the ablation is superficial, we will have less downtime. 5 days of downtime instead of 2 weeks, that is the regular time with a CO2 alone treatment. No stress, there is a scanner, no extra time. The scanner is doing everything in an automatic way. And we can see now inside the structure, sequential emission, CO2, 1540, and just after the CO2. The results are like this. No more crusting after 5 days and huge tightening, less wrinkles after one single session. You can see the parameters here. Even in case of young acne scars, it is unbelievable. Just one session, you can see no more redness. And regarding the texture, there is a strong improvement. You can apply another session, 2, 3, even 4 sessions. It depends to the expectation of your patient. There is not a limit. You can apply every time you want. Anyway, just after one single session, you can see the improvement is absolutely useful. In particular for the redness, 1540 is the most important wavelength when you have a scar. For redness, for collagen, and for fibrotic tissue, fibrosis. So in any case you have a scar, 1540 is the most important component. Even on the neck, for some of you it's the third time that we see this one, but anyway, so 1540 on the neck is safe and effective. CO2 just a little bit, just a little dose to homogenize the surface, to homogenize the texture. If you want something different and even more regarding ablation for scars, Pico. I told you about Pico regarding tattoo removal and pigmented lesion, but now because the fractional, we have the evolution also regarding scars. It doesn't matter now to analyze the fractional because it's a repetition for some of you, but we can arrive to the point. We can ablate the skin inside or outside, it depends to the fluence, and anyway, we can work for texture improvement, we can work for acne scars, but in this case, without water absorption, not like a CO2. So it is cold, frio. There is no heat that can provide inflammation and hyperpigmentation. So CO2, especially this CO2 and erbium glass is the best one. But in a dark skin type, prone to have hyperpigmentation, could be better the Pico fractional because there is no risk of hyperpigmentation. In this case, after one session, you can see the improvement in the acne scars. I don't like this one because I think the light is in a different angle. I think is not a good example. This one is useful. A post-traumatic scar with redness and atrophy. So the volume is depressed. Just after one session with the fractional NPs low fluence, you can see the reabsorption. So you can see that the evolution is still working in wavelength mainly, and the best idea is to merge two wavelengths in the same time, from thermal, ablative and fractional in any case. Chrome is a new device from Quanta that we need to intend in a different way. It is not a device, or we are not promoting as a device, but it is a laser station, a modular system that you can install different features, okay? And the idea is to have a platform for aesthetic and dermatological treatments, to have a modular structure that you can install now or in the future to configure in any direction you want for specific treatments that we have now that are standard. You don't need to remember endpoint or specific parameter. This device is made to be easy. So you decide to apply skin resurfacing, okay, that skin resurfacing, no variation, correct, safe, without problems. So this is the concept, the device, and the base package is a double wavelength 1064 and 532 Q-switched with a variable end piece, so the end piece like this, adjustable, no damages, sorry, without damages, no, without damages this one, without a single end piece that you can adjust from 2 to 8 millimeters. On that base, you can install the fractional DF, deep focus for ablative effect, the fractional HC, a new fractional, we have high coverage to work in the surface of the skin, fast and superficial in the same time. That is not easy. If you want fast, large, you are deeper. So the idea to have large and superficial is difficult, and that's why it's a fractional. There is another specific end piece, NaturaPil. NaturaPil is a Quanta System name. You know that in the market there is the carbon peeling, carbon mask peeling. Other companies are calling Hollywood Peel. It's another sales name. For us is NaturaPil. And if you have experience with that treatment, you can apply a black carbon mask on the face and you can remove with the Q-switch technology. The problem is that this cream black carbon is going everywhere, even in the expensive NPs. So this NaturaPil is made to resist to this kind of use. It depends on you. If you want to use, the suggestion is avoid any damage, use the specific end piece. Another package, another module is the Rosso. So, like Ruby, it's the same wavelength of Ruby, but inside the end piece, so is an upgrade. It is not a dye laser, it's OPO, optical parametrical oscillator, strange name. It's solid, no consumables, and it is an upgrade like Ruby directly here, that you can buy even after 5 years. You can start with the system. After long term, when you want to invest other money, you can buy the Ruby emission just applying here without other problems.
Esta pieza sería como la pieza dye que vende Harmony, con la diferencia de que no tiene el consumible.
Yeah. Yeah, and the consumables in this Piezaman, this NPs, is terrible. If you are using for pigmented lesion, it doesn't matter because you need 3-4 shots. But if you are using a dye NPs with consumables for tattoo removal, you need a lot of money. So the treatment will cost double or even triple because the consumable of the dye cartridges. In this case, it is solid. You can use also for tattoo removal. This is an important idea. Other module is the Nd:YAG Pulsed. This is new. You know that even in Pico or in our Q+, we have the PT mode, photothermal. That is a thermal mode to do tightening onychomycosis, but only that treatment. This is another story. We have 25 joule per pulse, so this is a module inside the system that can work for vascular, for telangiectasia, for any kind of vascular. So another upgrade, a system that is a Q-switch. You can have any fractional you want, you can have Ruby, you can have vascular. IPL, if you want that technology that is old but anyway still working properly, and erbium YAG if you want to do superficial ablation and small dermatological surgery. You can add also this one. So at the end we have 8 modules that you can apply when you want. The standard NPs is adjustable. So a single NPs that you can change from 2 to 8 millimeter with a very fine step, 0.25 millimeter. This is useful for lentigo, for pigmentation, because you can match the dimension with the lentigo you have. Not larger, not smaller, the specific dimension. And you can arrive to 20 Hertz of repetition. 20 pulse per second. In the skin toning, in the brushing, is very fast. Super uniform. Another point we have in Quanta from Pico to this device, flat top, uniform energy distribution. So other competitors, you know, this is Lutronic for example, you know from other presentation, are not uniform. We have this kind of uniform level. If you don't trust my description, you can take a photographical paper and you can try with any laser you have. You will see that not so easy to obtain a uniform and perfect circle on the paper. In general, you have something like this. East competitor and West competitor, so USA and South Korea, we are independent. Fractional, you know, we have 3 fractional, or to be honest, 2 fractional and 1 Natura pill. 8 millimeter is for ablation, LIOB effect. 9 millimeter is for skin toning, superficial brushing. Natura pill is the new with protective windows for the carbon mask peeling. Rosso is the modular element for the red. Important, I told you, Rosso is not a dye, and remember, with a dye, a 10 by 10 tattoo, a regular tattoo on the shoulder, that require 2000 shots to be treated, with cost in consumable 100 to 200 euro. That means something like 250 USA dollars more, only because you have a consumable system. So your session of tattoo removal will cost out of the market. This is not a consumable. There are no dye cartridges inside. It is important to remember. It seems to be, but it is solid. The pulsed emission, you can arrive even to 500 joule per square centimeter. That is an atomic bomb. nobody's using that fluence, but it is to show you that is not a free running mode. This is a pulsed mode, and you can adjust from 0.3 to 50 milliseconds, so you can match with any telangiectasia, any vascular 1064. Of course, KTP 532 is another story, but anyway, you have this one. IPL, 6 wavelengths, 6 dimension, so something very simple for epilation, for skin rejuvenation, vascular, etc. The last one is the erbium YAG 2940 for ablation. Ablation fractional or full spot for vaporization and even skin resurfacing if you want to be uniform. In the epidermis you can do a full resurfacing. And the application, this is another element. Of course, you can work for tattoo removal, pigmented lesion, etc., etc. So, with all the modules, you can cover this large amount of treatments. But even better, we have now this new concept that is the skin app. When you buy a professional system like Pico, you are an expert doctor, so you can tune your emission patient by patient. Chrome is made to be easy for any doctor. Even if you have no experience, there are skin apps that are application without thinking. You don't need to adjust that emission from this patient, that patient. You can use in the same way every time you want. For example, we have Refresh. The name of this application, Refresh, is made with the standard module plus the fractional and Rosso in case you want to do refresh in a skin type 5, in a skin type that is not accepting 532 in the pigmentation. This is the idea. Single session, you can refresh the texture and dyschromia, the color of the skin. It is made to have zero downtime. Minimal downtime, it means 5 hours with redness. So the effect is good, not excellent, good, but no side effect, no downtime. You can apply every day if you want. This is the aim of the skin app. After that, if you have more experience, you can use the system with more. Like a system like this, you can do everything you want. But anyway, the skin app is a good way to start your activity. Another one is Revivo, that is made by standard package, pulsed mode and erbium YAG for superficial ablation. You can re-homogenize the texture. In this case, the downtime is 1 day because the erbium YAG is ablative, but anyway, you can have a glowing and brilliant skin after just 1 day, no side effect in any skin type. Sculpt, the age eraser, is one of the best because it's working with peeling and tightening in the same time, and you can see the strong improvement another time with no downtime and no side effects. Décolleté, as you can imagine, is for here, so IPL is the best contribution, the module for this treatment. Naturapil, the idea regarding the carbon mask, we have chrome, we have the specific end piece, the Naturapil end piece, like this, and we have also the Naturapil cream that is made by bamboo, not with regular black carbon like smoke. It is made by bamboo. So it is funny because it's light gray, it's light, like a white color. Now there is not a picture. Anyway, the structure is little microscopical balls of polymer with inside the bamboo carbonized. So these microscopical balls are light gray, a color like this, very light, quite similar to this. When you apply on the skin is this color. When you brush on the skin, you explode this microsphere of polymer and you are opening the carbonized bamboo. So after the brushing, 2 seconds, the cream is dark, is like black. This is a wow effect that is marketing oriented. In the same time, with this explosion, you are delivering a low percentage of hyaluronic acid. It is a cosmetic, not a drug. So the maximum hyaluronic acid you can sell international everywhere without the drug license. But anyway, you have something more, not like the regular carbon mask that you can buy everywhere. The effects are like this. So microporing reduction and superficial peeling. It is super light. So to be honest, is not a resurfacing like this. There is zero side effect. It is more than wash your face, but not a resurfacing. So it is oriented to be soft. You can do now for this night. After 1 minute you have a new skin, but no side effect. So of course, after 2 weeks you need to repeat. It's made to be gentle and to apply every time you want. Is marketing oriented. So the cream is offered in a big box with the silicone sealed, so you can use for 1 year without oxidation, etc. Is a specific package with a valve on the top to decide the amount of the extraction, so it is very professional. You can adjust everything. After that, just press and you have the amount of cream. Everything is sealed inside with valves, so you can keep in your study for 1 year. And the same regarding the handpiece. It is quite similar to this one, but longer tip. This is longer to have a huge distance. And you have the protective window inside that in 30 seconds you can remove, clean and reapply. Otherwise you need a lot of maintenance in the system. It is very expensive. So buy this one if you want to work with carbon mask. And another point, if you want to work with carbon mask peeling, the suggestion is buy our cream. Not because we have again money on that cream. The main problem is when you use a regular cheap carbon cream is made by graphite, the material of a pencil. This is conductive. So you will have this graphite everywhere, but in particular can go inside the systems. And it is electrically conductive. You can have short circuits. You can explode the devices after 1 year. With this cream, this bamboo is not conductive. So is professional, is funny because the color, and in the same time you don't have damages. Not only in laser, but also in computer, laptop, camera. So the carbon peeling is dangerous for everything. So handpiece and specific cream. Because this structure with skin app, etc., we have also a new platform to provide you this information. So not only for you as a doctor, but also for your patients. You will have on your mobile, on your laptop, computer, this skin app ready. So tutorial, how to do it, how to remove, how to apply, how to clean directly on your mobile. And important, for your patients, you will have an application on your laptop or tablet to show your patient, okay, I can do something like this. So easy, like a brochure, and you can convince the patient to invest in that treatment. This will be the web page, the website with pre and post directly for the final customer. So the idea is Chrome is a new device, new because the modular structure and new because this new approach marketing oriented for your clinic and also for your patients. So even in case you have no experience, you will have a package with everything inside. App without no side effects, mobile app to show your customer how to do the treatment, how to will be the treatment. So very easy. An application for Pico. It is made for Pico Plus or Ruby in general, so the same Ruby for Q Plus or Pico Plus, and it is made to work with any skin type and to have no downtime, gentle, fast. Of course, you are brushing the skin, and of course, never seen before. This is marketing. Anyway, it is made for any skin type. This is important. Is a skin toning for skin type 5, 4, 3, any. Especially in Peru, you have a large composition of skin type, it doesn't matter. And you will apply Ruby in two different ways. One brushing with homogeneous Ruby for the pigmentation, and one brush with fractional HC, so the high coverage, the superficial fractional, in Ruby as well, to homogenize everything. So double pass, same wavelength, different end pieces. So no complication. It is super easy and super safe. I'm waiting for pre and post picture, so we can see something, but no more than this. In case of specific pathology or in case of generical disorder of melanosomes, pigmentational disorder, it is very effective. So the benefit is no side effect. You don't need to think about skin type, about pathology. Just brush 2 times, uniform and fractional. That's all.